y'all, and welcome back. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Y'all, this devotional has just been so amazing this week. I'm just loving this little book. If you don't know what I'm talking about, where you been? No, I'm just kidding. I found this book at a thrift store. I Got to Talk to Somebody Guide by Marjorie Holmes, and it's literally her prayers and conversations with God about life. And we're just using this, and God is using this little book and this woman's conversations with him to minister to us, and I'm just eating it up with a spoon, you know? So, I'm gonna get right into it. Hope it's not one I've read. And here we go. If you have this little book, it's on page 6. It's under the grouping, I've Got to Talk to Somebody, God, and the title is, I've Said Yes Once Too Often. Let's see how the Lord is going to use this. I love how she starts them off all the same. Oh God, I've done it again. I said yes once too often, and now I'm stuck with this extra job. How will I manage to accomplish everything? All these committees, all these meetings, all these phone calls. Right now, I don't see where there'll be enough time in the day or night. I don't see where my strength is coming from. Only you will help me. You will give me strength. You will give me the intelligence to manage. You who created time will even give me that. Now let me quietly thank you for this challenge. If I'm a fool to take on so much, all right. You who made me so will not leave me stranded. You will fortify. You will supply my needs. Bless the people with whom I will be involved. Bless the job I've undertaken, and I know it will prove worthy of the efforts I bring to it. Well, been there, done that. Said yes to things that I probably wouldn't have said, but you know, you feel the pressure, you feel like all eyes are on you, and it's like you feel like if you don't say yes, then somebody's going to think bad about you. But it all works out in the end, right? And I don't know about y'all, but I have literally prayed for the Lord to stop time before, to give me extra time. And does he? He probably doesn't, but somehow he manages, and I manage to have the time that I need for whatever it is I'm going through. But I love how she, once again, she realizes her slip up, her fault, her mistake by, okay, I said yes once too often. But Lord, here I am coming to you with my situation, with my problem, with my circumstance. And because you made me, and because you know who I am, and you knew I was going to make this slip up, this mistake, this impulsive decision, you also knew that you was going to help me through it. Because we recognize, we admit, and we go to the one who can do something about it. That's my take on it. And he will help us. He will give us the strength. He will give us the intelligence to manage. And you who created time will even give me that. And he does. Somehow he does. So let me quietly thank you for the challenge. And the challenge could be anything that we're going through. We can thank God for our challenges, because it's in our challenges that we learn. We learn. I'm a fool to take on so much. All right. You who made me so will not leave me stranded. And y'all, we can take that line away and apply it to our life. I feel like I can take that one line and apply it to my life. I'm a fool to take on so much. All right, I admit it. I messed up. You who made me so, you who created me, who knows everything about me, knows every intention that I make, that I have, everything about me, will not leave me stranded. He won't leave us stranded. You will fortify and you will supply my needs. And y'all, this just so coincidentally I don't believe in coincidence. Leads me to a little testimony I will share with y'all, and it may be so insignificant to some of y'all, but it meant so much to me because it was the message that God gave me in answering the simple little conversation with him, this prayer that I prayed, kind of like what Marjorie Holmes would pray. So I was making spaghetti last night, and I was out yesterday, and I had all intentions of stopping to get breadsticks to go with the spaghetti. I mean, come on, you gotta have breadsticks with spaghetti, right? Or garlic bread. Well, I didn't do it, and I got home, and when it was time for me to start cooking, I realized I had not done it, and I didn't want to call James and ask him to stop on his way home because, I mean, he had been at work all day, and I do my best to take any unnecessary things off of him that I can do, you know. So I was like, so I go to my freezer at the refrigerator and I open it up and I'm praying, Lord, just please let there be some breadsticks in here that I forgot about, that I don't know about. Just put some in here. You can do it, Lord. Nothing is impossible with you. And I'm just telling him, you know, I know he can do it. I have the faith. I know he can put some in there. Opened it up and I was like, oh, well, it was worth a shot, right? Well, for whatever reason, wink, wink, I decided I would go look out in the freezer in the garage. And we never put anything like that out there in that freezer. We only put like the extra meats and stuff like that. We never put breads or biscuits or anything out there. But for whatever reason, I decided I would go look out there. And all the way I'm walking out there and I'm just like, Lord, you can just put some breadsticks in this freezer. You can just do it, Lord. I just know you can. And I'm believing you're going to do it. Y'all, I opened up the freezer and right there in the door was a box of breadsticks. I kid you not. Y'all, I will never look at breadsticks the same again. God did it. And I just began to thank him for it. And I come in here and I, you know, started cooking my dinner and everything. And it was, he spoke to me and he said, just like I provided these breadsticks, there's not a need that you have that I can't provide for. Y'all, he did it. And he used breadsticks to minister to me. I could have just shouted. And so, of course, me being who I am, I have to share it. And so I sent a text to my mama, to James, to my daughter, to my son. I'm like, God provided breadsticks. And then I went to tell him about the story. So, God provided breadsticks. I'm a fool because I didn't stop and buy them. Okay. All right, Lord, but you who made me so will not leave me stranded. You will fortify and you will supply my needs. And I know God did it. I know he did it. And I give him all praise and glory. And that may seem so silly to some. That might not mean anything to anyone. And that's okay. It meant what it was meant to be for me. And I thank God for the breadsticks. I thank God that even though I say yes too often, even though I get myself into some situations that I'm like, what was I thinking? He never leaves me stranded. He fortifies me. He supplies my needs. End of story. Period. There you go, y'all. I hope this blesses you. This just kind of reiterates the whole breadstick thing. This just kind of like him just going out of his way to prove to me and hopefully to you that y'all, he's got us. He has got us. He will not leave us stranded. Anything that we need in our lives, he will supply if we just take it all to him. We acknowledge where we messed up. We acknowledge our faults. We acknowledge, okay, Lord, I said yes once too often. I messed up. You know, could you please help me out, Lord? Y'all, he's such a good father. He's not going to leave us stranded. Would you leave your children stranded? If they come to you and said, hey, here's a situation. I know I shouldn't have done this. I really regret doing this. I've learned a lesson from this. Can you help me out, please? No good parent would turn their kid away if it was something that they could help them with. And there's nothing God can't do. I can't thank him enough. I just cannot thank him enough. He is so good. And any situation, any need, any problem, any circumstance that we take to him, it does not go unnoticed by him. It does not go unheard. The prayers that you pray does not go unheard. He hears every prayer. And whether you feel it or not, whether you see it or not, he is working on every prayer that you pray. And it may be by not answering the prayer the way you want it. Keep that in mind. I have to remind myself of that quite often. When I don't get the answer I'm looking for, when I don't get the answer I want, that does not mean God is not answering my prayers. That does not mean God does not hear me. So do with that little bit of information what you will. I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.